Welcome to this week's Harness Racing Alumni Show. I'm Freddie Hudson, and I'm here today with Trade Martin and Bob Marks. This week's Harness Racing Alumni Show is brought to you by the Meadowlands Racetrack. Visit PlayMeadowlands.com. And Hunterton Farm, home of champions year after year. Visit HuntertonFarm.com.
The Harness Racing Alumni Show with your hosts, Freddie Hudson and Trade Martin.
Joining us today is longtime and good friends, Sean and Crissy Bier. Sean and Crissy, welcome to the Harness Racing Alumni Show.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure to have you. Well, recently, you guys got hit with a ridiculous fine and suspension from the Delaware Racing, I guess it's the Delaware Racing Commission,
Yes.
On what's that, three oxylidocaine, which basically should be something like a 15-day suspension, and you guys ended up with a 3-year or 2-year suspension, and
2.5.
Two and a half year suspension. Yep.
And each one with a $4,500 fine. But my big question, Sean, how can they fine you? You're not even a licensed trainer.
I mean, that's a great question, which we don't understand. The judges in Delaware, they said that they've called in and I've made driver changes and I make stable decisions and stuff. And, you know, Crissy's trained horses well before I've even ever been together with her. And
For 30 years.
You know, it just seemed to me that he wanted both of us to be suspended.
It doesn't make any sense. Now you have it appealed, and we're talking about kilograms, correct?
Picograms, yeah, 123.
Okay.
123 picograms. With if you throw it into perspective, picogram is 1/1,000,000th of a gram, and we've been told, like, from, you know, veterinarians and doctors, like, there's absolutely no performance enhancing ability for this.
Why in the world would you get 2.5 years? And both of you, and like Crissy, you're listed as the trainer. Sean's not listed as the trainer. So why come after both of you? This sounds like it could be personal.
We're taking it that way. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, when is the last time a trainer and their spouse has both been suspended and fined?
I don't know. But I just find it totally ridiculous.
And they're saying that it's a rule in Delaware, which there have been other trainers, you know, that have been suspended. I don't know of any of their spouses that got suspended.
I can't remember anybody getting this kind of suspension, you know, as long as I've been in the business. I mean, it's unheard of.
So you would definitely say that this judge did not act.
No, he definitely wasn't fair.
Was he polite?
He's polite unless you say something that agitates him.
Could this be like a power trip on his part?
Possibly.
Yeah. I mean, possibly.
I mean,
he you know, he wasn't taking any information from anyone, our lawyer, or he basically said a splint sample was sent out and a split sample came back and it was confirmed 3-hydroxylidocaine is in the horse's system, and basically you're suspended and all your horses are scratched, and that's that.
And also told us that if we appeal it, that the commission, Delaware Racing Commission, will go harder on us.
They will go harder on us,
because of the debacle with the Fubinaca positives that they dealt with, because they're getting looked at very harshly right now.
Yeah, how much harder could they go on you? 5 years?
5 years.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
the thing. That's the thing that I had a hard time with too. Like, so you go home and I said to my wife, I was like, okay, so if the max is 5 years and the minimum is 9 months, why did we get 2.5 years even? Like, why couldn't we just get the 9 months, which we still would have been upset about, but 9 months would not have took our livelihood away from us. I mean, we're looking at losing our health insurance. Crissy's going to lose her pension in the state of Pennsylvania because she only has 4 points, and you have to get a certain amount of points within 2 calendar years, and he basically took our present and our future away from us.
Well, now how many horses did you start with, and how many horses do you currently have now?
When it happened, we had 32, 33 horses, and as of right now, I have 3 Delaware-bred young horses that I just have to train to hopefully get to the races where I could sell them, and just because if I sell them right now, I'm not going to get anything for them. And that's the other thing.
They're babies.
We bred in Delaware. Our lives are in Delaware, and we just have to sell everything. But no, when we got suspended, the owners, the horses were gone. I mean, they were within 3 days. It was like, and we had employees. Everybody had to leave, and I mean, it was crazy. And within the last month, I've just been in survival mode. We got rid of our trucks, we sold the trailer, just trying to survive.
Well, under appeal, couldn't you race? You're under appeal, so you should be able to race, correct?
Well, no. The judge here said his exact words: "You could appeal it, but you are not getting granted a stay in the state of Delaware. We don't do that." And that was his decision.
Could you have raced in a different state?
No, only if you get a stay.
But we haven't gotten.
We haven't even gotten any paperwork back. We didn't even get we didn't get a date to our commission hearing, and I don't even know when that takes place. We just sit and we wait, and we don't know anything.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to tell our audience?
Oh, it's just when it comes to trainers' responsibility, we'll rewind a year ago. See, they're stacking a couple positives on us. So I'll back up.
That's why it's a minimum of 9.
That's why they changed the rules to a minimum of 9 months, because at Chester of October of last year, we had a horse come up positive for methamphetamine, and then 2 months later, that was under Sean Bier's trainer at Chester, and because I had health insurance in Pennsylvania, so we raced horses in PA, and I've always been a PA. That's where I've always raced. Anyway, 2 months later, we had a horse test positive at Dover Downs for methamphetamine, and in the same time, we had a groom that was working for us test positive for amphetamine and methamphetamine on himself. So that extremely helped our case, because he was the caretaker and he signed the ticket on both horses when they won. So, and he also went into a drug program and he got help and he's doing great. And but that helped us get those violations reduced to 10 days and a $6,000 fine, which they said it was under a major penalty. So now, when this penalty came from the 3-hydroxylidocaine, they said within a calendar year it was a class 1, and a Class 2. So that's why we're getting such a harsh penalty. And I said, but I thought the Class 1s were mitigating circumstances because it wasn't us, and it got reduced to under a major penalty. And the judge said, no, that doesn't matter. And I was like, oh my God, like that's not okay, and here we are today,
Well, now 3-hydroxylidocaine is used in operations and when a horse gets injured. Now, didn't your horse, Levi Sonic, get injured? Yes.
Levi Sonic, he kicked through a water bucket, and he had a hematoma there, and Dr. Amy Franklin, she removed it and did surgery in the barn. And ironically, when I scratched this particular horse, we actually sent the judge a picture of the operation, so he knew all about it. And then when we got notified of the positive test, it was like over 3 weeks later when he won. And I said, well, Levi Sonic, this had to be from the operation. And, and I said, you have a picture of the operation. And then he really didn't care. Nothing really mattered.
Was the operation performed in the stall?
It was in the shed row of the barn.
Okay, because possibly you could have environmental contamination there just from the operation taking place.
Well, what we heard was, when you're operating on a horse's foot, like there's administering lidocaine in certain areas, but you don't know where it's going. Like, if it's in some kind of cartilage or a hoof wall, or they said there's no guarantee of how long it stays in the system. By the rule books, the judge says it shouldn't still be in the system. Well, I mean, there's no rhyme or reason why things stay in systems or how long they stay in the system. I said, I don't know. I'm not I said, I'm not God. I don't know why it's in a system, but I know we didn't give a horse lidocaine.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah.
But lidocaine wasn't in the system. It was the metabolite.
Yeah, it wasn't. Lidocaine was not in the system. It was 3-hydroxylidocaine, which means the metabolite was leaving the horse's blood system. And I've been told that by doctors and veterinarians, and they're like, you're not getting a fair shake because of it's not lidocaine. It's not, and at our hearing we said, this shouldn't be. It's 123 picograms, and the judge said it's a painkiller, and we're like, oh my God. I was like, it's not, it's not what it is, and we were getting demanded of just being guilty, and that was it,
What are your legal options now moving forward? Are you thinking about suing the Delaware Racing Commission and this particular judge?
I mean, I would love to if we were allowed to, but I mean, I've spoke to lawyers and they said you really can't because the judge is protected under the Racing Commission, whatever that means.
But if he's abused his power, that might negate that.
I mean, I hope somebody that's listening to this show knows more than I do about the legal system and would call and help us, because we don't know, and we definitely wholeheartedly believe we don't deserve what's going on.
Of course, the way that I look at it nowadays, especially with Donald Trump, you can sue anyone for anything now. It's totally changed, and I'm going to go back to a lot of people don't know this, but the OTB in New York. The old Roosevelt Raceway power, and Lucien Fontaine at that time was the New York Standardbred Owners Association, and so he went to recoup that money, and all of a sudden the state of New York sued him for like $50 million, and so he started running around to get some help and from other members of the board there, and nobody would step in because they didn't want to get sued. So the lawsuit is a powerful weapon.
Well, the other thing, Freddie, we this has cost us a lot of money in the meantime just to get where we are today. And sometimes, we have to think about how we keep the lights on or to keep fighting. I don't know. It's definitely, you think about it every day, all day long. It definitely doesn't leave my mind, Yes,
I understand.
And we've done, we've been in this business our whole lives. Like, up until the methamphetamines that we got, we've never even had positives other than, a vet got a cortisone. We had a cortisone, Robaxin, because of stupid stuff, leaving it in the morning feed, and the horse next to it got it, and not the right horse. But nothing ever like this stuff,
In 30 years.
In 30 years, my whole life.
Yep. Well, the next thing I'm going to bring up is the trainers. It's totally outdated for the times. It's just totally outdated, and it needs to be totally revamped and fixed.
Yeah, to lose your livelihood for picograms, to put it in so normal people understand, they're like, a picogram is basically a grain of salt that you throw into a pond, and that's what they're picking up.
Yeah, they have to change some of these things. They definitely do.
And how do you go about to change those rules?
Well, all of the states should be unified and going under the same rules, so that there is no...
Well, Crissy was looking up things about this 3-hydroxylidocaine, and it was Bob Baffert, correct?
Yes.
Bob Baffert had 2 of them, and they were thrown out because I don't know if it was people wearing lidocaine patches or whatever, and
that's exactly what happened with him. One of the grooms was wearing one, and he had 2 horses come back positive, and he ended up, I don't think he got fined, but I think he got 15 days, but I'm not 100% sure.
And here's the kicker too, Freddie. The horse that came up positive, the girl that was grooming him, she wore lidocaine patches too, but we said, well, that can't be it. It's got to be the surgery, and she's like, well, listen. I wear them, so whether I had them on or not, I got fibromyalgia or whatever she said, and I brought that up with the judge, and he said, we're not going down that road, and I'm like, he just didn't want to hear from us about anything we had to say.
I don't know. So with that, I'm going to close the show out. I want to thank you guys for joining us today.
Oh, we thank you.
Hopefully this will help somewhat. This week's Harness Racing Alumni Show is brought to you by the Meadowlands Racetrack. Visit playmeadowlands.com. And Hunterton Farm, home of champions year after year. Visit huntertonfarm.com. That's a wrap for this week's show. Thanks for listening, and please join us again next week.
The Harness Racing Alumni Show